I actually found QRI from my mom. She discovered it when searching for things to help my little brother, and actually found it when I was in my later years of high school. And when she first was showing it to me, I thought it was crazy and nuts and totally didn't believe in it. And just kooky mom being silly. Well, grew up, became an adult, got a little out in the world, and realized, hey, she's actually pretty smart and knows what she's talking about. So I asked to borrow her books again and read through them and realized that I really believed everything in it. So from there, I went to my first class after that, and everything after that's just been confirming my initial feeling towards it, which it's a beautiful combination of everything I believe in, and it works so well. The biggest benefit that I've seen with my brother is the way that he perceives the world and the way he processes his emotions. He, prior to starting the program, I would say had probably the like emotional maturity of maybe like a 7 or 8-year-old, and how he saw the world and how he kind of saw cause and effect and consequences and all of that. And since doing the program with him, I mean, honestly, it was shocking. A couple weeks into doing it, I went to go wake him up one day, and he started just talking and asking me all these questions, these really deep questions. And whereas before, if he had something that was bothering him that he didn't get, he would ask like a very surface question, and then we'd answer it, and he would just kind of loop on it and never really get the answer, and would just keep kind of looping, trying to understand. And this time he would ask something, and when I give him the answer, I could tell he understood, and then ask the question furthering more. And he was asking about really deep things, like, what do I think happens when you die? And what does it feel like to fall in love? And I mean, these conversations, they didn't stop. He was just flowing out with stuff. We would speak like for 3 hours one morning before, you know, he gets up and gets ready or whatever. And the next day we'd go on a walk, and the walk would take another 3 or 4 hours because he just keeps talking and keeps talking. There'd be so many times I would take him on to go to the store or something, and we'd end up just driving around the neighborhood in circles because he had so many questions that he wanted answered. Because for the first time, he finally understood the answers. And he could actually connect and see the bigger picture. And it's really cool because he's 18 right now. So right before I started doing the work on him, even though his brain wasn't developed and he couldn't process what was around him, he was still going through a lot of the emotions that teenagers have of feeling confused and frustrated and trying to figure themselves out, but he couldn't figure it out like a person that didn't have some of the challenges that he has. So, I don't know, it was so awesome to see my little brother actually get to not just, when he's, you know, trying to grow through these teenage years, just hit the wall, but actually get to move forward. And he's actually getting to figure himself out and figure out what he wants to do for himself and what he wants to see in his life. And he feels hopeful again, which has been really beautiful, because it was sad watching my little brother, who was the happiest, most friendly little kid, but started to get kind of depressed and hopeless feeling as those teenagers hit and the confusion started to set in. And it's like now, when he has something he's confused on, he'll hear the answer, and there's like this, you can see the clarity in his eyes. He's just like, oh, I get it. It's really awesome. For the first time, I actually feel a sense of hope that my brother will get to experience normalcy in his adult life and his later teen years, and that he will get to feel that satisfaction in his life, like that he did get to follow his passions and he did get to accomplish his dreams. I mean, he's even able to express his dreams, which before it was so kind of obsessive and fragmented and loopy that it wasn't clear. It seemed very much like stuff that a little toddler or kid would say, and he's expressing himself clearly. He carries himself different. He shows pride in what he does. Just seeing him emotionally and how he sees others too, like he really gets it. Like, it's just so cool that I actually can sit down with my little brother and have a normal conversation, like a brother-sister conversation, and I don't have to figure out how to say things to him anymore in a way that he can get. I can just talk to him straight up and he gets it. He gets it. And enough that we sit there and have these deep dialogues that are deeper than some of the conversations I have with my friends lately. He's really curious because for so long he hasn't been able to have these conversations. So now it's just like flowing out and he's like, okay, well, what about this? And we'll just be driving the car and he's like, oh, okay, so what about this? It's like, keep it coming. I'll answer them all day. Yeah, like I love that. I love this so much. The cold laser is effective. There's so many studies. Like when I was skeptical in my earlier years, like soon after my mom had introduced this to me, but my curiosity was sparked. All this different stuff, and there's so much out there, like so much that I could not even read it all, but I started to and realized, oh, okay, cool, awesome. And then if you ever were to just go to a class, hearing all the testimonies are so amazing. Or just receiving it. Just to receive a session, you can feel it. It's very impactful, very impactful. So, I mean, do your research, try it out yourself, talk to others that have done it, because the proof's right there, you know? Like all the methods of confirmation that you'll need through there. You might have to do a little searching because it's still new and it's still not the most known about thing, but the answers are out there and no harm in trying it. Like, why not give it a shot?